we're going to show you all that as a small community, we're going to set the example for this country here. What you see is what you're going to get.
A Brooklyn Center resident's remarks, just one attempt to get others to see another side of his community, one that he says will not only push his city, but the rest of the country forward. On Tuesday, there was a call for action by some Brooklyn Center residents, including one man who says he was stopped on 3 separate occasions by the same officer who shot and killed Daunte Wright.
This officer pulled me over on 3 occasions. Never once did I receive a ticket or any type of citation. I received nothing more than hostile engagement and interaction.
Matt Branch and others are calling for a civilian oversight committee for police. There's also a call to eliminate police stops for petty violations. Residents like John Solomon pushed for a racial profiling bill back in 2000, but without success.
Now, after that, I live every day with the simple fact that because we couldn't get across to these people, we lose people like Philando Castile, we lose people like Daunte Wright.
Solomon, a former Washington, D.C. police officer and current Brooklyn Center School board member, says he's been pulled over 18 times in Minnesota. Meanwhile, with the potential for further social unrest, local fire departments are on high alert.
We've added extra staff to each of our frontline engines, and so that we can make sure that we can respond quicker with a better, effective firefighting force and be more effective on that initial scene.
Brooklyn Park Fire Marshal Dan Cryer says the department normally sends 6 firefighters to a fire. But with the Daunte Wright killing and the looming Derek Chauvin trial verdict, the Brooklyn Park Fire Department is now sending 9 firefighters to a scene.
And we hope that helps us get ahead of the fire before it gets too large for us to control it.
The fire marshal says the National Guard is also providing security detail for firefighters and first responders. He was a giant of Minnesota politics, a former Minnesota Attorney General, a U.S. Senator, a Vice President, and who many describe as a humble servant. Local lawmakers are sharing personal stories about Walter Fritz Mondale. Ryan Winkler was Mondale's driver when Mondale stepped in to run for U.S. Senate following the tragic plane crash of Paul Wellstone in 2002.
One of the most touching moments in politics I have experienced is his concession speech to Norm Coleman, in which he thanked the voters of Minnesotans for always being good to him.
The Minnesota House held a moment of silence on Monday to mark Mondale's passing. Local residents have stories too, remembering Walter Mondale.
And then after Wellstone, Senator Wellstone died in 2002, he stepped forward and said, well, I'll run. In just those short few days, 10 days, he said, I will run. Of course, he didn't win, but he didn't have to, but he did. So he always did things that he didn't have to do, but he did because he had such a heart for the country.
Brooklyn Center resident Diane Sanis shared her Mondale campaign buttons and memories with us. She traveled to the 1984 convention with several other North Metro residents when Mondale ran against President Ronald Reagan. She got to show off her buttons to Mondale in a 2012 event at the Minnesota History Center. Resilient is one way to describe Twin Cities restaurants who weathered the pandemic over the last year. In this week's edition of Takeout Tuesday, Delane Cleveland takes us to 3 Squares in Maple Grove to show us how that restaurant has had to adjust.
It's like your second kitchen. We want to be your second kitchen.
A healthy diet consists of 3 square meals a day.
So 3 Squares is breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And since 2008, Maple Grove has been home to a restaurant that gives people a reason to come in at pretty much any hour of the day, whether it be for food.
One of the best things about 3 Squares that we like is the variety of the menu. I mean, whether it's like breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I feel like we can always find something that fits.
Or their award-winning Freehouse beer.
These beers with the orange, green, brown, yellow, blue handles are all brewed in-house.
3 Squares is one of 7 restaurants operated by the locally owned Blue Plate Restaurant Company.
How is everything today?
Stephanie Shimp is one of the owners, and she takes great pride in providing a neighborhood restaurant experience that keeps people coming back for more.
I think we have great food, we're a good value, and I think we take care of people. We go that extra step to make sure we know your name or we know what's going on in your life.
Their efforts have helped them grow a loyal customer base. which has been important to keep the business running during the dark days of the pandemic.
Yeah, we tried to do our best to eat out as much as we could, so yeah, we certainly are happy they're back open and we can go to have breakfast like this.
Three Squares breakfast is one of the things in which they take great pride.
Not many people are going to make Eggs Benedict at home. I bet our hollandaise will knock your socks off and you'll come back.
Rachel Hovey can certainly attest to that.
The ham was perfect in eggs and it was just yummy, so I could see why it's a popular option on their menu.
Yet even with the delicious menu options, Shimp can't sugarcoat the challenges of the past year.
It's been hard. It's definitely the hardest thing I've had to go through in business.
State and federal assistance has helped in the short term, and in the meantime, the servers now wear masks and goggles. They've switched to an all-digital menu, and they have partitions dividing the seating areas. But in the past month, Blue Plate has worked with Hennepin County to provide COVID vaccinations to the entire staff.
I have never seen so many happy tears, too.
So with warmer weather ahead and more people getting vaccinated every day, optimism is high that things will soon get back to normal.
I feel like we've turned the corner and the darkest days are, behind us, and we're going to get through this.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.